Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's question has 3 answers, and the third answer is a secret as to how you can do better than the average. So let's get into it. The question that was sent in to me today was, how much do self-published books make? Now, this is an excellent question because maybe you're considering whether self-publishing is the way you want to go, or maybe you want to go a different route, like the traditional way of publishing. But if the self-published books aren't selling that many copies, then maybe it's not going to be right for you. So, I am going to answer that exact question today. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one, and check out below in the description. You will find my absolutely free checklist that will help you make sure that you're doing self-publishing the right way, which will result in a lot better sales than you would if you just tried to wing it yourself. So go ahead and check that out, and we'll get right on it. How much do self-published books make? Well, I can tell you when I first started my entire process, I took my original book and I put it onto Kindle Direct Publishing with KDP in the Kindle format and priced it at about $3 per book. That gave me a profit of $2. Now, the thing is that, well, then you would expect the sales to start rolling in, and I really wasn't sure what to expect. So when I first put my books out there, I discovered that no, I did not start making thousands of sales. In fact, I was making a sale here and then a couple days and another sale. It ended up, I was excited just the idea of even being able to make $1 a day or something along those lines. The idea that money was actually coming in that I could see on a regular basis from sharing my ideas with the world. So that was a very fascinating, but obviously nothing a person could live off of. So, but I did discover later that when I changed the ways that I was marketing and selling my books and even putting the books together, that it had a huge impact on the number of the amount of money that I was able to earn from these self-published books. So that was from my own experience. So how much do self-published books make? Well, the first thing is, one way you might want to look at this is looking at the average. But this would probably be a problem because there really isn't such a thing as an average self-publisher or an average self-published book. In the reality of things, there are big winners and big losers, and they tend to average each other out. When you average it, you get a figure, something like the average self-publisher is making $1,000 a year. Some people would put that figure. I think it was Amazon a couple years back. So it depends. They don't actually want to release those figures to let you know the answer to these questions. But that's just a general ballpark figure. But the reality is a lot of people are spending tons of money unnecessarily in the writing of their books, in the covers that they're doing for their books, in the markets that they're putting their books into. So it's cost them a lot of money, the editing, all of this stuff. It costs them a lot of money to actually get these books out onto the market. And then when they put it out there, they're making, again, just trickle, a very, very small amount of sales. It would take them decades to get their money back. So they're actually negative. They're losing money. Now we're averaging that together with the big winners on the self-publishing, who are pulling in thousands and thousands of sales for their books. So that's a very important difference that is important to take a close look at it. So another figure I was recently studying, it comes in at the average self-publisher was pulling in between $500 and $1,000 a year. Now remember, most self-publishers are actually losing money in the grand scheme, but the average $500 to $1,000 a year in comparison to the traditional publishing, going the traditional publishing route, between $3,000 and $5,000 a year. Now, this still does not completely work out correctly, since you can't just choose to get traditionally published. It's an awful lot of work, and there's a lot of additional steps. And so most people, and this is what a lot of people would say, is they would say it's probably not even worth your effort because there's a lot of other ways you could just get a day job or whatever and make a lot more money going that route as opposed to even self-publishing at all, which may make it pretty depressing, right? Because if only a small number of people are the big winners, and then the vast majority of people are actually losing money or making almost nothing off of the books that they're selling, then maybe you might be a little demotivated. And that brings us into our third answer, the secret answer of the day. And this is the key here. The answer is you can do way better than the average. Now, how exactly are you going to go about doing so much better than the average? The answer is you're going to do it by learning how to optimize your book. And I've discussed it before, but so many people just hop over these steps that are critical to making sure that your book is going to sell. And the first thing is, and this is the most important of everything, it's that you need to make sure it's in the correct market, that people actually are looking to buy books. So I use a program called KDSpy, which you can find below my affiliate link in the description. I use this program in order to find out which types of books are actually selling a lot of copies, but then there aren't that many books in that genre on the market currently. So what we would call that would be a hungry market. A lot of readers want to buy your books, but there's just few books. So that's the first thing. The second is you need to produce the book with a high quality cover and using the title, having those keywords from that genre that we're looking at, or that micro genre that is a profitable area to put books into. So that was number 2. And then our third thing is when we finally do come out with the book, we're going to want to run ads against it and do other things like content marketing, email marketing, all sorts of stuff that we're going to want to do for that specific book. Now, one other final point on this optimizing, it is that which formats should your book be in and which platforms? And the answer is it should be in as many formats as possible. That is your ebook, your audiobook, your paperback book, and your hardback book. And even the paperback may be on a secondary site, and that comes back to the next one, which is your distribution channels. You want your book to be on as many bookstores as humanly possible. You want to be spread out all over the place so that people are not having difficulty finding your book. So when they do a search, first of all, we already know there's a market of people who want to buy those books. When they do a search, it's going to come up with your book. It's going to look similar to the best sellers in your genre. And this whole system here is going to trigger the sales and pushing it above. So how much do self-published books make? Well, I guess it depends upon whether they're optimized or not, and you really shouldn't look at the average. But tell me what you have found. Have you found that you've been able to beat this average? Or maybe you're an author, a writer who's put out books and have made absolutely nothing. And that's one of the reasons why I mentioned the free self-publishing checklist in the description. And check out above me here, and you can check out more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.